everybody. Thank you so much for having me here today. It's such an honor to join the 8 by 8 speaker series organized by SOSV and Chinaccelerator. My name is Vivian. I'm the co-founder and CEO of ELSA. And today I would love to share with you guys about 8 different lessons because it's 8 by 8. So I figure we should share 8 different lessons that I learned myself as a co-founder while building an AI company without a technical background. And I hope that my experience would be relevant for those who are sitting in the audience that might be thinking about starting your own company, especially in the AI space, without being a technical person. So very quickly, for those who don't know about us, we are ELSA, which is standing for English Language Speaking Assistant, and we are a startup here based in Silicon Valley with the mission of helping language learners around the world improve the English speaking skill so that we can give them better opportunities in their lives through our proprietary voice recognition technology and AI. And we had been around for about 4.5 years or so. In that journey, we had built the company with a global team from around the world. And the first lesson I learned when I started the company about 4.5 years ago was that, you know, you're not a technical person. So I myself did not build a solution first and then go start this company. I started with a problem itself. I did not start with a technical solution. And the problem was that I want to solve this big speaking challenges for a lot of language learners around the world, including myself, who has spent years and years of learning English and a lot of money. And yet it might be the case that we could be reading really well, we could be writing really well, but when it comes to speaking, people had a really hard time understanding you, and that really hurt your confidence, that really hinder your potential ability to achieve different opportunities in our lives. And that was the problem that I started with. I did not know what solution that we need to offer, but I knew that that was a problem big enough that somebody should be addressing that, and I would love to be a part of that, finding that solution. And so starting with a problem give you a lot of uh, avenues for thinking about different solutions. And so you don't get too bogged down into one technical solutions and go find the problem to solve, right? So I think that's a different way of looking into it. And being a non-technical person definitely force you to go down that path, which I think is a very good way to start building your company. I think the second lesson that I learned is now you could be starting with a company. You think about the problem that you want to solve, and you ended up needing this technical solution. You could be spending the next 6 months trying to look for that technical co-founder, but in that process, start with what you have and don't wait for that technical co-founder to show up. You will need that person, but it doesn't mean that you could not start with that, because again, starting a company is not just about building a product right at the beginning. It's about researching, understanding what you know and what you don't know about the market. What is the right solution that people need, and how are you going to address that challenges for the market? So what we did at the beginning was I did spend a lot of time just doing market research, trying to even launch a marketing campaign that telling people that, hey, if there is a solution that can help you with speaking English using technology, would you be interested? I launched a waiting list that within the first week or so, we had like 30,000 people signing up on the waiting list. We did not even have a concept of the product. We did not even have a technical solution. And I definitely did not have a technical co-founder. So I think that's the second thing. Just start with what you have and don't wait. Then third, because you don't know a lot of things, especially you don't have a technical background, you cannot build a product. It's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to ask for help. And in fact, a lot of help, right? Like I went left and right to everybody around me and say, hey, I want to build this AI. I have no clue what it is. Can you tell me? And so every day, my mission back then was just to meet 5 different AI experts in voice recognition technology so that they can either point me to the right direction or connect me to the right people, or just telling me whether that's possible or it's not possible so that I can start learning and educating myself about that. And it's okay. People are willing to help out there, and you can just go out there and get a lot of people to show you what you know and what you don't, and then learn in that process. Which then leading to my next lessons that I learned is that, yes, it's okay to ask for help, but you also own up to what you don't know and have to be really ready to learn fast. Yes, you can go out and say, I don't know a lot about this AI and voice recognition technology, but very quickly, everybody expect you to be an expert in that. enough for you to understand inside out about what this technology can and cannot do, and how is that serving your business, and how is that serving to solve your problem. So I still remember the very early, I even asked a very silly questions to my technical advisor and say, so what exactly is voice recognition technology, even though I was trying to build it. And he sent me a research paper, super, super technical, but I had to really learn it fast so that next time when I asked him the question, it has to be more educated questions and not like those basic and fundamental anymore. And then next one, now you don't have that technical background, but you could use your non-technical advantages and remember what that is. And in my case, networking. Again, in my first 6 months, I did not have a CTO, and it did take me about 6 months to find my CTO. What did I do in that case? I used my network, right? All of the friends and people that I had known over the years, and say, hey, I'm looking for this person. Can you help me point me to the right person? And so, as I said, every day, 5 people that I would go meet and say, hey, who else do you know in this space? Either trying to convince that person to leave their job and join me, or to tell them to connect me to the right person. At the end of the day, I did find my co-founder and CTO at a conference in Germany after almost 6 months of looking. And again, here, using my advantage at a technical conference where majority of the technical people there would just network among their own little group because they're very attached to each other. But me being a non-technical person, the first time at that conference, I was not afraid. I would just went and talk to almost everybody at the conference, and it working really well because at the end of that 5-day conference, the word got out that, hey, have you seen this little Asian girl? She's walking around. She's asking for whoever want to join her as a technical co-founder. So it worked. It just basically helping me spread the message that I'm looking for a co-founder. And I did eventually, after 6 months of looking, I found my co-founder and CTO at that conference. And he's been with me in this journey since the beginning until now. So know what is that is your advantage, and use that and leverage that so to help you address all of the challenges that you have. Then the next thing is, yes, you might not have a lot of the background, especially building the product yet, but action speaks a lot louder than words. It's true in all scenarios, but it's particularly true in this case. You should show what you can do. And for me, again, I did not wait to start until I get my co-founder. When I met my co-founder at the conference in Germany, I actually already had a prototype, even though I don't know anything about voice recognition technology. I already showed him that here's what I had done in the last 6 months. And he was actually really impressed. He's like, wow, how do you even build this? You don't even know about this one. And so showing him that give him a lot of credibility that I'm taking this very seriously and I can move mountains to make anything work. It breaks down a lot of the fear, right, of a person joining a random person, especially joining a startup world. So if you can show people what you can do, I think that goes a long way in compensating for all what else that you don't know and what you might be needing help for. And then the next thing, what I learned is, again, know what you're good at and what you're not good at. And if technical is not your background, then you should surround yourself with the best, like that has to be the best technical expert in your field, right? There are a lot of them out there. Not everybody will join you as a full-time co-founder, but a lot of people are willing to help. Why? Because they're working on amazing technology that has potential impact in the world. They might be busy doing research, but it doesn't mean that they don't care about that impact. So you work with them and you help them bring out the impact of all of their amazing research to reality. And so people are there to help you. You just have to figure out who are those people and surround yourself with that so that every single time, and trust me, you're going to run into challenges every single day of your journey, you know who to knock on their door and say, hey, I need help, and people are going to be willing to help you. So make sure that you complement all of the weaknesses and the areas that you don't know by the best expert in the field. In my case, it has to be the best technical expert in voice recognition technology as well. And last but not least, I think this is one insight that I did not have when I started out. Being non-technical actually make you fearless. Um, and you are not constrained by what you can and cannot do at all. Why is that? Because when you're not technical, you don't know what technology limitations are. So in my case, I just came up with this crazy idea that, hey, I'm going to use AI and voice recognition technology to listen to people speak English, figure out what they do right and wrong, and giving them mistakes. Now, that concept has been there in research, but people have not really brought it out to application because people said there's not enough data or there's no way we can do it accurately. I did not know any of that limitations. And so for me, it's simple. If Siri can listen to people speaking English well, why can we not turn Siri into something that can teach people English? And so, and that has been that fearless ignorance is a bliss kind of thing. Give me a lot of room just to come up with ideas that is solving people's problems, whether technology can or cannot do it. And then later on, I'll figure out, okay, what are the limitations of technology and how I can solve it. But that fearless attitude get you a long way, especially in the startup journey. And I think that's probably, for me, that's probably the greatest blessing to be a non-technical founder because again, you can leverage a lot of people's help. You can focus on what you're really good at, and you can just really be ignorant about all of the limitations that give you the ability to just to think that the sky is the limit and you can do whatever you want to do. And I do think that the world needs both. And if you're a non-technical co-founder, then find yourself the best technical co-founder and work with that person to be whatever you want to do as you think about a big problem to solve for the world. So I think that's all I have for today. And thank you so much for giving me the chance to share all of what I have learned in my last few years as I started my company. And would love to learn from everybody else as well. Thank you.